Hello, hello. It is Wednesday. It's noon. It's lunchtime. So let's talk a little real estate. So today I am super, super excited because we will be talking to Shannon Erickson today. She of working with. Um, okay, we're not asking you to do that. I tell you, these meta glasses, I'm still learning them. Shannon,
Hi,
how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I apologize. I was having some little technical difficulties, but no worries.
That's
Um,
right. It's understandable.
no worries. No worries. So, Shannon, I am super excited to talk to you today because we have a mutual client who is
Yes.
getting an amazing deal, and she's using down payment assistance. So that was truly the biggest reason why I wanted to talk to you today because I feel like there is a lot of stigma around down payment assistance, and a lot of people don't understand the benefits of down payment assistance. But before we jump into that, tell people about yourself.
Um, my name is Shannon Erickson. I work at Amerisbank. I've been in the mortgage industry since, oh my gosh, I'm going to date myself, since 97.
Okay.
Have done pretty much everything you can do, but really thoroughly enjoy helping first-time home buyers get into their first home. Started getting into the down payment assistance world the past few years and have found so many wonderful programs to help people actually create that generational wealth and get into their first home.
I absolutely adore that. And let's be very clear. Let me go ahead and give you your flowers now. Like you and your team have been super communicative throughout this entire process, right? And not only that though, but you have been on the ball with everything. Like if we didn't email you or text you, you were emailing or texting us. And so we sincerely appreciate how you've done this entire transaction. So thank you for that. So we will be doing many, many more for
You are
sure.
welcome. Yeah,
Thank you so
that's
much.
what
So,
complete transparency and communication. So,
absolutely. Well, let's jump right into it. So, what's the biggest myth that buyers believe about down payment assistance? And then what's the truth about it?
um, so I think the biggest myth might be that their down payment assistance is going to come with a monthly payment.
Okay.
And that's just not true. I mean, there are your programs, the FHA loans that you can do that you can get the second mortgage that has that monthly payment with it, but
Hmm.
most of them are there's an affordability period to it. There's no interest that accrues on it. There's no payment that's involved with it. And, you just meet those guidelines and the qualifications, and it's there for your taking.
And some of the down payment assistance programs are forgivable. Some of them are grants and some of them are second, right? But some of them are actually forgivable, correct?
Correct. There are many of them that have anywhere from a 5 year, 10 year. I've worked with programs that have 20 years. There's one that's a 40-year period. So they all come with different requirements and guidelines that once you meet that affordability, it's forgiven and it just goes away.
Love that. So, tell me a great truth about the down payment assistance, though.
Um, that it helps the borrower get into that house. It
Hmm.
meets them where their current situation is. It meets their needs um, with as little as $500 to $1,500 minimum contribution out of pocket.
Hmm.
You can purchase a home using down payment assistance.
Wow. So, let me make sure I got that straight. So, a person doesn't need $20,000, $30,000 if they qualify for the down payment assistance program. They could put as little as $500 into the transaction.
For a certain program, yes. Most most of them are anywhere from 500 1,000, or 1,500, depending on the program they choose.
Okay. That's that's awesome. I haven't seen someone be able to put $500, and I'm going to date myself as well, since I first got into the business in 2006. So I haven't seen $500 earnest money, $1,000 earnest money, $1,500, something that you can literally, you could put the $1,500 earnest money and be done with what your input into the program. Does that sound about right?
That does. I've
So,
closed plenty of those where the borrower comes to closing with no money out of pocket.
wow. That that's awesome. That is amazing. So what are some of the different types of down payment assistance programs that buyers can really benefit from right now?
I think that the best ones right now are within the city limits of Atlanta.
Okay.
Uh, Invest Atlanta and Atlanta Housing. They can be stacked together to, depending on your job occupation, you can get up to $45,000 in down payment assistance. That goes a long way when you're purchasing a home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
make
for
it
the people that don't
affordable.
know what stacked means, what does it mean for you to be able to stack it?
It means that I can use them together. I can apply for assistance on their behalf from Invest Atlanta, and I can apply through Atlanta Housing and take both of those programs, utilize funds from each one, combine them together to make the down payment on the home and help cover closing costs.
So these are just numbers. These are just random numbers. They're not actual numbers. So if there was a situation where, one program was offering 20,000 and the other was offering, let's call it 25,000, and I was able to get approved for both, does that mean that I literally could have $45,000 at closing?
Yes, it does.
And I can apply that towards my down payment and my closing costs?
Correct.
And if I have any left over, could I possibly put that towards my principal?
It is going to decrease the loan amount. So we have to make sure that you don't get funds at closing, like you can't get cash back.
Okay.
You go to the closing table. So we have to use all the funds to either lower your initial loan amount or help pay for those closing costs.
That is amazing.
It is. It truly is. I think
I
the
don't think
most I've ever gotten for anyone has been 92,000.
92,000 in down payment assistance.
Yeah.
How many programs were stacked with that one?
Oh, it was hard.
Oh my
But there
gosh.
was four different programs.
$92,000. That is amazing.
It really is. It really is. It helps serve the purposes of, making things more affordable in the area. So it helps out a lot. I think
There
you
we go.
kind
Sorry about that.
of, now I can
Yeah,
hear
there
you.
we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's 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 amazing. Because I know that, so the client that we have in common right now, she's getting a significant amount. Prayerfully, she's closing at the end of this month, and you were able to stack two programs together, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Is there a typical amount of programs that you can stack together, or that you can pretty much stack however many you need to?
No, it's going to depend on the down payment assistance programs. Like Invest Atlanta and Atlanta Housing will allow you to stack theirs together. They'll also allow Federal Home Loan Bank to be stacked with it. They
Hmm.
allow ANDP. If you're not familiar with them, it's Atlanta Neighborhood Development Partnership. So each of them come with their own requirements and guidelines, and if they all fit together, you can have the down payment assistance lien go into second, third, fourth, and fifth lien position behind the first mortgage.
Wow. That's that's mind blowing. Shannon, you're literally doing the Lord's work. I just want you to know that. Like
It is.
for
That's why,
sincerely.
yeah, it is a lot of work. You're not going to find a lot of loan officers that do it,
Hmm.
but those of us that do it, we call it our hard work.
Yeah.
Hard work, hard work.
I
So,
love that. So I know that of course you can stack the loans together, right? And I know that you can put all this towards your down payment, towards your closing costs. Anything left over goes towards your loan amount, right? Because you can't take any money home. So how does that, or how does this down payment assistance money, how does that really affect the buyer's like monthly payment, or to your point, building that generational wealth?
so they're, as you stack the programs and you lower that loan amount, it's going to decrease that overall monthly payment, which is going to make it easily affordable. Um, and then once the down payment assistance liens are forgiven, they just fall off. So it's instant equity that the home buyer receives during,
Wow.
after that 5 year affordability period or that 10 year. So once they live in the home as their primary residence for
Hmm.
that many years that it calls for and it's forgiven, it's instant equity. And of course, as you know, home prices have been increasing
Hmm.
and increase each year. So the value of their home is increasing while that affordable period ends. It's just instant equity creating that generational wealth that
Yeah.
they're then able to either sell that house, make a profit,
Hmm.
go buy a larger home, or buy a rental property, or you know.
Oh, wow. So I think there's a lot of stigma around it. So one thing that I don't think we touched on is who actually qualifies for down payment assistance.
Um, the programs have their set credit score requirements in place. Usually with an FHA loan and using down payment assistance, a borrower with a 620 credit score will be approved for the program. Um, we do look at their debt to income ratio. I've closed them as high as 56%
I'm sorry,
before. Yeah, 56%.
56%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and for those who don't know, most lenders want you to be well under 50%. So to be well over 50%, most lenders want you to be somewhere around that 40% price, percentage, but that's crazy that you were able to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow. Congrats to you.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. Well, congrats to the first time home buyers that it helps. I have 4 kids and I'm like, you guys are never going to be able to find a house and afford. So I'm going to start digging into these programs now to help give you the knowledge that you need.
Absolutely. I think people don't know until they know, right? And I think a lot of people think that you have to be either impoverished or, be super low income to get down payment assistance. But that's actually not necessarily the truth with a lot of different programs, though, correct?
Correct. That is right.
Sounds about right. So, there's always going to be good and bad with a lot of different situations. So, what are some things that, what are some mistakes buyers have made that either denied them fully or delayed their closing using down payment assistance?
Switching jobs during the process. Don't do it. Don't do
Please.
it.
Oh my
I mean, I can work miracles, but I can't come back from that. Um, Making a large purchase, like
God.
your car, don't do it.
Mm,
Don't
yeah.
do it. That'll kill your debt to income ratio. Another thing that has really been prevalent, um, most of your down payment assistance programs are going to require that you have filed your taxes
Hmm.
for the past 3 years. We will pull transcripts. We will make sure that you have filed. Sometimes they come back and they show that you owe the IRS money.
Mm,
So not being completely transparent with your loan officer about that. If you have a payment plan set up with the IRS, that is great knowledge to give your loan officer up front, because sometimes that comes back and we're like, are you making a payment? Have you started? And then sometimes that can ruin the deal.
gotcha. Wow. I think a lot of people don't understand, like, just because you get approved in the beginning doesn't mean they're not going to recheck things towards the end. And they forget about that and they just start kind of going nuts. That's why I typically will tell my clients when we start, especially my buyer clients, when we start a transaction, you are on credit lockdown. You cannot
Yep.
do anything that impacts your credit whatsoever. Sorry,
That's
that negatively impacts your credit whatsoever. It's all about the words, right?
correct.
So, um,
Especially those affirm payments where
oh,
let me
like the
buy this
Klarna and
and do
stuff.
monthly.
Yeah.
Don't do it. We're going to ask you about every single one of them.
All that
So
stuff comes up.
it does. It
And I
does.
think people don't think that certain things will show everything. Everything comes up.
It does. It
It
does. We
takes it takes things so quickly to hit your credit, but it takes a long time for you to remove it. So don't think it didn't hit it because it did.
right. That's true.
I love. Oh wow. So, right now, especially in the Atlanta area, we're in a market in which buyers are able to get some stuff, right? They're able to get closing costs paid. They're able to get some buy down points. They're able to, get some repairs done. So, how are concessions and down payment assistance, like how can that work together? And do you think a lot of buyers are kind of missing out on that opportunity to make those connections?
I do. And that's why working with someone like yourself that can negotiate those seller concessions, and then partnering with a loan officer like me that is very knowledgeable with the down payment assistance. I mean, they can get a lot more money if it's negotiated right. And if their loan officer just knows about the programs in order to offer it to them. I mean, I've talked to borrowers before where they had no idea about down payment assistance. So it really makes a big difference, especially when they have the two combined. You use that down payment assistance to lower that loan amount. You use the seller concessions to buy the rate down a little further
Mm-mm.
for all of everybody that's included. So
Wow. I love that. Because I think a lot of buyers don't think that they can ask. I always tell my buyers, like, let's get the right now money. Let's get some upfront money. What does that look like? It looks like closing costs. Um, and I think because a lot of times with down payment assistance, you feel like, oh, that's just the down payment. Like I'm going to need help with the closing costs as well. Well, with certain programs, if you can stack them, like you get a substantial amount of money, that closing cost of those concessions you get from the seller can be used for other things like home warranties. They can be used for, buying down your rate some more. Like you have options, right, with the closing costs from the seller. Well, the concessions from the seller, other than just closing costs.
that's right. That's right. It makes a big difference.
I love that. Yeah. And I think to your point, I do think a lot of people are missing out on that opportunity only because of the education piece of that. They just don't know. You don't know
Yep.
what you don't know.
You don't
Love
know
it.
what you know. Ask questions, find out ahead of time, find out what your credit score is, create a credit plan if you need to, get a plan in place. And, whether if you're not ready to buy right now, you might be ready in 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. But if you have the knowledge and a plan to do it, nothing's going to stop you.
Love that. So you mentioned your kids a little while ago, and you were talking about how because things are, prices are rising, it makes things a little less affordable. So what would you say to someone who's renting right now who feels like, buying a home just might be out of reach for them?
I would say that they could look at it this way. When they're renting, they're paying 100% interest. Their monthly payment doesn't go towards equity, doesn't go towards anything that they own, they truly own. So ask the questions. become aware of what you can afford. What's it look like compared to what your monthly rent payment is?
Mm-hmm.
Why not take the risk?
Yeah, because I think a lot of times, especially with down payment assistance or just with assistance in general, a lot of times those payments are a lot cheaper than they think they're going to be because they're so focused on the price point of the house, they forget about the monthly payment. They're like, "Oh no, I need the house to be this price because I only want to pay this." But they're not, really putting into account the fact that the down payment assistance, the closing costs, all those things mixed in together are going to lower your cost substantially,
Right,
depending upon how much you get, of course.
right.
That's awesome. I hopefully your kids understand what an amazing mom and loan officer you are. So they dive right into it and they get some down payment assistance and buy an amazing house. Because a lot of times your first house is your first investment property, right? So why not? Why not jump right into it and get into a situation where you're not only able to, buy your first home, but possibly buy your first investment property as well.
That's right. That's right.
So, we went over a lot of things today. We didn't delve in deep because I feel like people need to contact you for the delve in deep, especially when it comes to the requirements. But if someone is watching this, right, and they're feeling overwhelmed by everything that they've heard, either online or from friends and family or whatnot, um, about down payment assistance, what would you tell them to do first? Like, what would their first step be?
Give me a call. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what your situation is right now, what you think you can afford, um, the whole big picture. I dig into it. I get the application, and then I start figuring out what down payment assistance programs that you qualify for, what you can use, where you want to buy. You just you have to know what you currently are looking at in order to move forward.
Love that. And so people can have that in-depth conversation and find out what the requirements are and find out if they qualify. Where can people reach you?
Um, my cell phone number is 770-403-1457. I can be reached by email, um, Shannon.Erickson@Amerisbank.com. Feel free to text me, shoot me a text. We'll schedule a time to talk. I'm
That's
happy
awesome.
to take the time out and do that.
Shannon, thank you so, so much for hopping on today. I appreciate you because I know you're busy, so I appreciate you taking some time to have this discussion with me. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for everything that you've done today, all the secrets that you dropped, and all the knowledge that you bestowed upon us today. And thank you for everything that you're doing in our transaction as well. I hope we have many, many more. Thank you again for hopping on. And thank you guys for joining us every Wednesday at noon. We're here talking a little real estate, having a little lunch together. I'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all have a good one.
Mhm. Thanks, guys. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Bye.